Welcome back to the school news portion of our broadcast. Today is October 27th. This week, it's already going to be November. It seems like time is passing so fast. There's a lot happening in the world this week as well as at Dorothy Ham, so let's get right into it. APS continues to distribute free lunches and breakfasts on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Some of the closest distribution sites to DHMS include Washington Liberty High School, Yorktown High School, Glebe Elementary School, Key Elementary School, and the Heights. These meals are free for all students ages 18 and under, regardless of need. If you're planning to get a book from the Dorothy Ham Library this week, you should check out the new Spooktacular Reads section on Destiny Discover that Ms. Schenker has made specifically for books about Halloween and scary books. So you can check that out. And also, new books are coming in almost every week. If you check out a book before 10 a.m. on Monday or Thursday, there's a very good chance that you'll be able to pick it up that same day. But don't forget to check your account before you go to the school, just in case. You can pick up your books and return them on Mondays and Thursdays from 3 to 5 p.m. in the bus loop, just like always. Thank you to all our amazing Phoenix students for attending the fall student-led conferences and doing an outstanding job reflecting on the progress we've made this year so far. We know that your teachers and parents were very impressed with your thoughtfulness and your goals for this school year. Keep it up, and also remember that your TA teachers are always available to help you with anything you need, whether it be school or if you just need someone to talk to. This week, we're going to have a Gifted Services virtual information session on Thursday, October 29th at 7:30 p.m. If you can't make that one, there's another one on Monday, November 2nd at 12:30 p.m. The sessions will highlight APS Gifted Services, including the collaborative cluster approach, as well as methods on instructional differentiation and how teachers provide enrichment and extensions to their students identified for gifted services at DHMS within their classes. If this sounds interesting to you, or if you think your parents might want to go, tell them about it. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to email Ms. Partington at catherine.partington@apsva.us or message her through Canvas. She's the resource teacher for the gifted at Dorothy Ham, so if you ever have any questions about gifted services, she is definitely the one to talk to. Next up, we have an update on the Vocabulary Bowl. Dorothy Ham as a school is doing really great. We're in 26th place in our division. However, in order to be recognized with a banner, we need to be in the top 10. So if you would like to join our Dorothy Ham Vocabulary Bowl team and help us achieve national recognition, then you know where to find it. Most of your teachers have made announcements about the Vocabulary Bowl in your classes. And of course, you can always find information about this kind of thing on your grade level counselor's Canvas course, so there's plenty of places to sign up. Let's go, Phoenix! Up next, we have a big shout out to Dorothy Ham's Model UN Club. On October 17th, several Dorothy Ham students participated in the Holton Arms Model UN Conference, or HAMUN. At HAMUN, we had 5 delegates be recognized with awards. Emma was awarded with an honorable mention, Margaret and Tessie won Outstanding Delegate Awards, and Vedika and Nadia won Best Delegate out of their committee. Way to go, Phoenix, we did an awesome job. Last but not least, this week you're probably going to want to check the document that has the meeting links to all of the clubs, because we have some new clubs that started either last week or this week, such as Anime Club, Student Action for the Environment, Math Help, and more. Clubs are a really fun way to connect with people who you might not get to know otherwise, especially since we're doing virtual school and you can't meet people from, say, other grades by just talking to them in the hallways. If you want to join one of these clubs, or if you just want a refresher to see what the other clubs are, then go check out that document with the links to the clubs on your counselor's Canvas page. That's it for this week, but coming up next we have some Halloween interviews.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and today we are going to be interviewing Miss Field.
Hi, my name is Calvin Smith, and here we have
And today I'm going to be interviewing Lando Reed.
And what is your costume this year?
Well, I guess it's kind of based off of Star Wars, but it's kind of more like a soldier because both of my parents are in the Navy, and we have a lot of camouflage stuff. This is just a helmet that does a bunch of cool things, like it pops up so you can see the front, and if you go in and you put it against your head and you flip the switch, you can speak differently, like this.
Wow.
Well, this year I'm dressing as Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. I wanted to do a costume that I could dress up my dog as well. So she's black and white, but she's not a Dalmatian. So she's going to be a Dalmatian and be my Dalmatian. But of course, I'm a kind Cruella deep down. But I'll just be.
That's so cute.
I am a business shark because I eat the competition.
What are your plans for Halloween this year?
This year, I'm actually going to have a couple of friends and neighbors over, and we're going to have kind of an outdoor party in my community where I live. We have a bunch of like grilling places set up, so everybody will come in costume, and we'll just enjoy each other's company and stay safe and socially distanced outside. So it should
that sounds nice.
Well, I'm not sure about trick-or-treating, but we're thinking of putting up like individual little boxes for the candy just in case people want to. And we're gonna do all the same festivities as before, like the pumpkin carving and dressing up, I guess.
Since it's so close to my birthday, I'm probably going to be hanging out with some friends.
Cool. My last question is, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
Oh, by far, without a doubt, Tootsie Rolls. I love Tootsie Rolls. And my students in the past used to always, they would ask me, and they would always bring me Tootsie Rolls after Halloween, so it was awesome.
That's pretty hard. I kind of like gummy worms, but...
It's either Twix or Kit Kats.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Thanks for talking to us today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
Good afternoon, Ms. Bowler.
Hey there.
I'm Emma. And I'm Sarah.
Oh. Hi, ladies.
And we're going to be interviewing Ms. Bowler today about her job and about Red Ribbon Week. So Ms. Bowler, starting with you, what do you do at Dorothy Ham and what kind of is your job?
So my job title is called School Substance Abuse Counselor. And I normally would be physically at Dorothy Ham 1 day a week on Thursdays. Now I'm at the service of Dorothy Ham on Thursdays and also other days of the week as well. So a substance abuse counselor kind of does three main job functions. And one of them is we go into classrooms virtually or in person to give different lessons. And a lot of times, for instance, I might go into a health class and help the health and PE teacher do a lesson about drugs or alcohol or vaping. And also I'll get the opportunity to go in and speak in a core class, like in an English class, if they're reading like The Outsiders, I might go in and do a lesson. So the other thing that we do is we help bring attention to national prevention campaigns. So that's Red Ribbon Week, which happens coming right up in October. And then there's another big one in March called National Drug and Alcohol Facts Week. And really the idea behind those campaigns is to make sure that students have correct information about drugs and alcohol. The other thing that I do is meet with students who might be experiencing stress in their lives that has something to do with drugs, alcohol, or vaping. Sometimes that might mean that they have a relationship with someone they care very much about who is struggling with one of those issues, or maybe they have friends who are getting interested in experimenting and it's upsetting to them, or maybe even they're wondering if they want to try that and that they need somebody they can talk with about that. Sometimes students get into trouble because they're experimenting with drugs or alcohol or vaping, and they get caught either at school or at home or out in the community. And it's very scary and upsetting for them. And so they can either volunteer to come see me or they get referred. And it's my job to help them kind of calmly figure out what to do and how to handle it moving forward. And then thirdly, sometimes students would like some more resources even beyond what I would offer at school, like maybe ongoing counseling. Maybe they would actually like some help with academics, some coaching, just all different kinds of. And I would refer them, work with their family to refer them to resources out in the community. So it's a pretty cool job.
That sounds great.
I love it.
To contact you, how would they do that?
So right now, the easiest thing to do is actually to go to your school counselor's Canvas page, because on that Canvas page, the school counselor has a link that would help you contact me. And I get a little cue on my email that tells me that a student has reached out. And then I would email the student back or get back to them on their Canvas page. And we set up a meeting. And the nice thing about that is there's privacy in that manner. I also have an email address, and students, if they have a student email, like at the high school level, they can email me directly.
Hello, DHMS. This is Sarah, and here is this week's World News. Vikas Khanna, an Indian Michelin star chef, has been working across continents and time zones since April to organize what has now become one of the world's largest food drives. So far, his Feed India campaign has fed about 50 million people in India, which now has the second most COVID-19 cases in the world. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved remdesivir as the first drug to be approved for treating COVID-19. It was developed by Gilead Sciences, but is marketed under the brand name Veklury and is used for patients that require hospitalization. Europe is experiencing a major second wave of corona. The numbers of COVID-19 patients in Belgium and Britain have doubled in just 2 weeks, and Poland has turned its largest stadium into an emergency field hospital. While here in the U.S., we are also experiencing a spike. On October 22nd, we recorded over 77,000 new cases, which broke the previous record of 75,723 on July 29th. But then on Friday, we recorded a new record of more than 85,000 new cases. Julia Koch, a first-grade teacher at a Michigan elementary school, is being called a hero after alerting the school principal that one of her online students' grandmother, Cynthia Phillips, was having a stroke. The principal noticed that Cynthia's speech was impaired and asked her if she was alright, but she was getting worse by the minute. He knew the symptoms of a stroke because he lost his father to one, so he immediately got her help. Cynthia says that she would have died if it weren't for that teacher. The government is suing Google because it has too much control over internet searches. They say that by paying its way on most devices and companies' products to make sure it's the default search engine, it is dominating against competition unfairly. A rare green puppy named Pistachio was born in Italy. It is believed to be a result of the puppy making contact with a green pigment called biliverdin while in the womb. Real Madrid won the El Clasico on Saturday against Barca with the score of 3-1. On Friday, just after the final presidential debate, Ariana Grande debuted her new music video, Positions. Throughout the video, Ariana imagines herself in the White House as the president, leading a very inclusive and diverse team of cabinet officials. On November 3rd, the 2020 election will be held. Former Vice President Joe Biden is a Democratic candidate, and President Donald Trump will rerun as a Republican candidate. The winner will be the one that gets 270 or more electoral votes. Speaking of elections, next up, we're going to learn more about DHMS's own mock election.
Hi, my name is Jack Reed, and I will be interviewing Miss Tuttle. Miss Tuttle, would you like to say something about yourself?
Sure, Jack, thank you. I'm Miss Tuttle, and I teach social studies to 7th graders here at Dorothy Ham. And I have been teaching in Arlington for a very long time.
So I'm here to interview you about the upcoming mock election. And my first question is, what is a mock election?
It's a great question, Jack. So a mock election is kind of a simulated election, okay? So across the country, every time there's an election, schools in particular want to give kids a chance to have their voices heard. Obviously, you can't vote in the United States until you turn 18, but that doesn't mean that students don't have opinions too, and we want those to be captured and heard. So schools across the country do mock elections. I know this year at Kenmore, they're doing one, and they do one every year, every election. And when I was at Williamsburg, we used to do one every time there was an election. So this is a common thing to do, but it's just, the purpose is just to give students a chance to have their voices be heard and to have a sort of practice run at the process before it's their turn to actually go into the voting booth.
Okay, great. So my second question is, will the candidates be the real candidates from the actual election, or will it be like just made up?
Well, I don't want anybody to feel like they have to vote for Mickey Mouse for president. So the ballot is exactly the same ballot that your parents will see when they go to vote. I went to vote a couple of days ago and saw the actual ballot. And so we have put the ballot into a Google form just because that's the way we can most easily communicate with all of you right now. But other than the format, it is going to have the same information on it that the real ballots have. So when you all vote, you will be choosing your candidates for president and vice president. You'll be choosing a candidate for U.S. Senator, U.S. House of Representatives, County Board, Arlington County School Board, and then there are 2 Virginia constitutional amendments to vote on. And there are 5 questions from Arlington County because they want to borrow money for particular purposes. And before they can do that, they have to get the voters' permission. So all of those things will be on the ballot.
Okay, so my next question is, will there be a write-in part of the ballot?
I don't think there's a write-in part.
Okay.
I will double check that though.
My next question is, will the votes be electoral votes based off the size of the TA, or does everybody get one vote?
So we are not going to mimic the actual election in that respect. And everybody will get one vote. So we will report a popular vote. We thought about trying to do electoral college to simulate the electoral college, but that just felt too complicated this year. So we'll give that a try another time.
Okay. Will teachers' votes count, or will it just be the students?
So I think teachers already get to have a voice when they go and vote in the actual election. So this mock election is just for students.
Okay. And finally, will each grade have their own election, or will the entire school have one?
So this election will be for the whole school. And what will happen is that next week, or on Wednesday, the 28th, students will receive a form in TA to use to register to vote, because that's an important part of the process. And it will be a Google form, and the link will be given to them by their TA teacher. Then on Thursday of next week, students will be able to look at a sample ballot with their TA teacher and ask some questions about what things mean. And then finally on Friday, they will get a link to a Google form to vote. And we will report the results for the whole school, but we can also report by grade as well.
Thank you so much for coming here to be interviewed, Ms. Tuttle. I'm looking forward to the election.
Good, thanks for having me.